So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is the Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 100 and in this video we are migrating all that what we learned here in the first person character to our game RPG project, because here we learned some new features for basic features, and we created here some blueprints. And I say why I need these blueprints, for example, in my RPG. For example, this rifle, this let me show you this one. We created this rifle here. Yes, I want this rifle now in my RPG as a collectible item. And now let's go here on a little bit. What I need else, we created here one more thing, which is BP Spawn Projectile. Yes, I want this projectile. It's very simple. Actually, I could create this very fast as well, but I won't use this one because I created this one here as well in my project, in my action RPG. And yes, I think, and the last one, of course, this projectile itself. So I want actually only three things here. This first person I don't want, because we saw the problem here with the first person. Let me press F8. And yeah, it's just animated hands and a weapon later, and there is no body, which means I would rather use a full body or replace this one with a full body. So we can use this one as well, actually, and replace this here perhaps with a full body if we want. But in this video, I want only three things: this, and this. And we already, oops, this one. And the player controller. Yes, we created a player controller as well. This is, which one? My created player controller. I think this one. So I want this one as well. Yes, because I want to use perhaps this player controller. Why not? So, and now what I'm going to do is I want to migrate them all. I click now what I want to migrate. This, whoops. I click now this one, this one, this one, and this one I have already for testing migrated. That's why I keep this one here. But if you don't have this one, click this one as well. And then right click. Then we go here to this asset actions. And this time we have here a third option, because when you click only one blueprint, you have only export and migrate. And this time we have this bulk export, which means you can export more things at one time. But we are not using this one, because this one is also export. And I want migrate, so I using this migrate, and there is no additional option for bulk migrate. This migrate works like if you click on it, it will migrate what you have here. Actually, is this working? Game first person. We have here the first person weapon. I'm not sure if this is working now. Let's see. This looks not right. Bulk export would, we don't need this one. Don't want. Normally you select this one and migrate here, but I'm not sure if this is right, because it says here only my projectile. BP Spawn. It is right. This is right. Sorry. It is right. Here are the three elements which I have selected. I was blind again. And you should have much more if you selected as well this one, because this one will migrate automatically the first person character as well, because they are associated, which means you should have a very long list. I have already these two kinds here. That's why I select now only this one. I press OK. Then I go to my other project, which is called GameYT, and then here I go to content, and I just use the content. It will place in content, and then I select this, and I already migrated some parts of this one, and that's why I say here yes, all, override all things, because it is just importing all things again. And now this step here is finished. I can switch now to the other project, which means I can close this one. But let's see. I open this one and see if there are problems. So I open my other project and we are back to our RPG project. Here I go to my content drawer, and in my content drawer, I dock this to the point here. Let's make this a little bit more visible, what I'm going to do. Here I have all my files imported and in content. So we have to go to content. Here's content, and all these not colored files here are new because I color all the other files which I have realized with some color, so I know they have some meanings, and all things which I have not colored are this one I have used as well normally. Let's color this one here too. New color anything. Let's color this one here. So this character, I think I have used this too. I have forgot to color this one, but because normally new is here just first person arms, and first person weapons. So this kind are new, and here are these blueprints, and here you can see these are the first person blueprints in our first person project. The problem is we have migrated them, but we can't use them all. And why? Because they are associated with the first person character, which I have actually here now too. But I want to use my character, which is this player character here, and I have redefined them. So, but let's see if this BP spawner projectile is working out of the box. So let's see. We put this here, and is it working? Yes, this one is working out of the box. You can see we created this anywhere, or we imported it from anywhere, and we can now use this projectile spawner. That's perfect. One thing is working out of the box. That's super nice. And let's see, that means our projectile is working out of the box because it was spawned. So I don't care about this one here. That's absolute nice. And here, first BP, first person character, we will talk about this in a moment. And let's see, so we have two things which worked out of the box. That is absolute perfect. But let's see this player controller. Let's change our player controller. So here I created also a player controller, I think. Player character. And now I have this first person character. Let's see. I put this one in and see what happens now. I start this, and the problem is I can walk, and that's it, because my player controller has more definitions than this one here. So let's check this out. Let's go to my player controller character. Let's watch this one. Let's see. Okay, we have here set actually just a reference only. Let's see here. Yes. And then create widget, character widget. Okay, set input mode game only. So actually here is nothing. Actually is also not so much set. But the problem is I use in my Infinitive Warrior all the settings. So I am not using this one right. So I have to set this one probably to player controller 2. And we learned this in some videos ago, I think, how you can change this one to the player controller. It's very easy actually. And yeah, and here you have to be careful if you have to check the other things now too. But okay, we say, okay, at this point we can't use the player controller out of the box, which means I can't use it instantly. But still good, we know how we can change this, right? We in last video I think we created a player controller, and here is just copying from one place to another place and change the references. That's it. That's not difficult. So let's see. Let's test the last two ones here, because that's very important. So we have this rifle, right? A rifle, which is a spawnable item, which is cool. So which means, where is it? Here, I want walk over it and spawn. This is not working. So, and yes, we know why it's not working, because first of all, this one is configured. I open up here, I can go, because this is a blueprint placed in the scene, I can go here to the outliner and here clicked on this item, and you see we have this option edit this blueprint here. I can click here directly. So, and here when we watch this, here is all fine, collision settings, all fine and so, but the problem is here in our graph, and the reason is it is casting to the first person character. We can change this. Let's do this. Why not? We change this to the what was my character called? Infinity Warrior or something like that. Okay, I cast this time to my Infinitive Warrior. I connect this up, and here, and let's see what we have. Yes, I make here promote this to variable. All right, SBB Infinitive Warrior, perfect. And let's see what we have here. This is just the same steps like before, and this one is then normal. And this is code. This is just creating a reference and overlapping. All right, which means here I can connect this one here and this select. This is the normal code here, and this one is just for first person. This one we still keep it for first person. Perhaps I use that, perhaps not. Later I will see it. And now if I overlap, it will attach, but the problem is I have to check. First of all, I have to change this references here, and I have to check if I have this grip point here, because yeah, let's do this. Compile, save, still no errors. That's nice. Infinity Warrior, I get this one fast. I get here my mesh. It's a mesh here. We had the mesh, get mesh. This is similar to this one here. It's called first person mesh. In my Infinitive Warrior, it is called here mesh, just mesh. Let's open this one a little bit up so I show you what I mean with mesh. Here we have this mesh. I want just get this mesh, and this mesh has here on the right side, when we go to the mesh, a skeletal mesh, and here in the skeletal mesh I need a socket name. If this is the same, I want check here, it goes here as parent. That is not the problem. That worked, so I replace this part. Perfect. Self, target actor is self. Yes. It's the collectible item. That's fine. But the problem is this one here. I don't know if this socket exists here, because I just migrated and hope that it exists. We have to check this one. Something like that we have to do. So if not, we have to create it. So let's do this fast too. So we go here to the my Infinitive Warrior, to the mesh, on the right side to the mesh, and go to this Skeletal Mesh, which means I just click here on the magnitude. It opened up my Skeletal Mesh. For this one, I open up this one, and here I select Skeletal Tree. If you can't see it, you have to select it here in this window, Skeletal Tree. And now let's find this. I paste this name in, and bad things happens. There is not this grip, and it is also, the animation is also not optimized for this grip. So we have here double problems, which means we have to set up this actually in multiple more difficult ways, let's say. So because this animation will not match this rifle, because the rifle is set up for a special animation and a position of hands and so on. So this one will not work. But just for fun fact, we attached it still to anywhere, which is then not perfect. I will attach it actually exactly to this weapon here, what we have selected here. And I think it was called, I'm not sure what it's called here. Anything hand right socket or something. Let's write here sock, and we jump to the hand socket, L socket and right socket. So we have here hand right socket here and hand left socket. So I copy just this one, but this one I need. Copy this one here. All right. And I say we have not this grip here, but now we are using this hand L socket. The bad thing is I should remember this other name. Anyhow, yes, let's make here Control Z fast, because it's very important that you It's not very important, but it's good to know the other name too. So I write here a comment and write this grip point and first person socket or something like that. So this is just a reminder, and this comment here I use just as a text block, not even as a comment. And yeah, something like this one, not here, just a reminder. So I can use this text here, and now I paste here this one in. So now we changed it. Now we can attach it to our character anyhow. Will not work very well, but it will work a little bit. And we can test it what happens now. So I'm walking here to my character and it happens nothing. Oh wait, that's not true. It happens. It is attached and you can see, let me press F8 so you can see it a little bit better. It's attached. You can see it here. My hand is only on down and that's why it's pointing down. And when I press F8 again, yes, this, you see, it is set up for RPG and not for... I need another stance for weapon animation, a little bit of new animation or something like that. But we can collect items with that. So, and it was also a problem. I said we won't collect weapons or something like that. And now we can collect weapons in our RPG as well. We learned this in first person. Now we can do it here as well. That's also very good. And let's continue. And we have here many arrows. That's also very nice. Let's see what this is. Access non-trying. If you have this kind of arrow, and you will encounter this kind of arrow many times. Access non-trying to read property, VP first person character, which means there is something trying to read something, but actually it can't read it because it is destroyed or it is not available, in short. And when we read this one, it says here, dispatcher, short projectile, event graph, yes. And this one is even a little bit more complicated because this one is has the find event with this event dispatcher. All right. This one is a little bit more complicated, but I think we talked a lot about this dispatcher, how you can set up dispatcher of the rifle, right? So what it can't read is, let me show you this one. Here it goes in and then it goes there and then it tries, I press my left mouse button and then anything wrong here with this shot and then it can't read it for special reason because there is no set up dispatcher. We have probably not set up dispatcher for our calls, and of course not, because we have here a infinity for it. Here's no dispatcher, but we also transferred it to the player controller, so we would make it next time in the player controller, and then you have to create this dispatcher here. But I talked a lot about this dispatcher, that's why I skipped this and I don't make this right now, or I waste a lot of time again. So this one you know how to make if you really need, and that's not a big problem. So let's test here our last thing. Let's go here again to this one. Yeah, where is that? Here's the first person, the blueprints, and I think here interesting is perhaps this first person character. Why is this interesting here? Interesting, we can use this first person character as well. We can say, hey, use the first person character here. Let's see what happens. Nothing. That's bad. Here, this default pawn I was in game mode perhaps. Here's a default pawn. Now I changed the default pawn to the first person character. I compile this one, start this one. And you see now I walk here as a first person character. That's interesting. And now, oh, I have here a problem. You see what happens? The problem is I was a little bit stupid. I should copy the imported file and then I could use this one as well, but I didn't. What I mean with that is don't make it like me. What I did is instead of doing this one, you have to duplicate this file. So you can change the other file and use it for your character and make it sorry, and use this one then for this. Let's do this fast. I duplicate this now. I should this do before, but now it's also possible. I duplicate this. I go here to duplicate and say be collectible item first person for first person. Let's say this one for my first person. And now I just rechange this one what I changed before, which means I just delete this one here. I kick this one out. Yes, and I set this one back. That's very fast. That's good that I have not deleted this kind of stuff. The actor was this. And here I connect this one. And now you see that's very good that I have wrote it here down, here up, so I can reset this one as well. Very nice. Something like that happens all time, that you set something up and reset it. And for resetting, there is something very special. We have to talk about this one too. I talked a short at the very short. I mentioned it only one time. What you can do is using backups, for example, Git or Perforce or something like that. But we have never used that till now. But yeah, if you make a real project, definitely have to use that. Source control, you can see here on the right side down it says source control. It's off because I'm not using source control right now, but source control needs again some videos to explain. That's why I skipped that. Read this offline definitely, on your own, research this and set this up if you are going to create a real project or you want still learn it, because this is very important later. But I said there you can use just the local save. You can save all your files locally, right? So on another hard drive if you have, or on the same hard drive anywhere. The problem is if your PC crashes or anything happens, it's lost. And the advantage of the source control, if it's online, you still can get it from GitHub or other places, even if your data PC is crashed or something like that. So let's see. I have now my first person here and I still can't get it. I can't get it. That's not a good sign. Let's see what I said it wrong again. So yes. Yes. The thing what I missed is now this one is the first rifle. Collectible item is not for the first person character. Now I have of course placed this one or spawned this one. Makes sense that I can't get it. So alright, and now I can get it and I still can't shot it. Oh, I have still to set up here the dispatcher anyhow too, and I will have errors now massive. No, I have not, but I can't shot anything. Anyhow, there is one more setup. So you can see all that what we did now in another project we can migrate here. We have to set up a little bit things. It's not working out of the box. Some works out of the box. For example, the spawner, the projectile works. The player controller worked also too, but in this case it limited my character too much because my player controller was really, that was the player controller what I showed you last time. We kicked out many features and this one has to be set up again. That's why this warning. This one here, now I see why it's not. This one, this input action, we have to set this up actually. That's why it was not working. Let's do this one too fast because this input action is also that what I explained to you. Sometimes we have to go in, for example, this is a very good example, and change this. So here in our first person character in action mappings was this, not the axis. In action mapping we had here 2 entries and you see the RPG, the third person template has, for example, only 1. So easy solution, we add here 1, 2. We have now to call it right, which means I go here fast to my character again. It is called primary action. Okay, I hope I write it right. Primary action, something like that. Where is my project settings? Here. I write now primary action. Reaction. Then I click here right mouse button because no, it's not the right, it's the left mouse button because it was there also left mouse and it's the shot button. But this can cause a problem here. You have to be aware of this because sometimes the mouse button is already used, right? So that's why I make here a right mouse button. I click this and make a right mouse button about it because the right mouse button is definitely not used here. And yeah, I think that's good. And now we can just go start. Where is my rifle? Here. And I can't still shot. No, let's see what's the problem here. I have not compiled it. Yes, that's also a problem. The same problem here. Let's go to this place here where my player controller is. I think I'm not using even this player controller here. I have to use this player controller as well. So I have here even two problems. First of all, I have to compile it. And you see now this one is working because I set this up. And you see that was not set up. I said sometimes you extend it, you limit it. But interesting is this one is all time the default setup. You can use it at all time. That's very nice, very handy, and very easy if you get used to it. And the next thing is, let's use this player controller, perhaps. No, I don't have. Yes, I have to because the dispatcher is here installed. Right, we have here this dispatcher. I have to use this one here, because I can't use my own here. So let's change this player controller. Let's go here to the world settings. I go to player controller and use this player controller, but that's okay. Save. Now start. Now test. And I still can't shot. Oh. There is one more arrow anywhere. But I think I skipped this now. Anywhere is one more arrow, but I don't know where. And I hope it's not this spelling here. The arrow was my clicking. I right clicked it? I was left clicking. I was using left clicking. No, it is still not there. What is the error? It is not giving me something. Let's see. Which is this binder and dispatches shot projectile? Red projectile? This one is the wrong call, BP first person character. Which means this one is never called here. Yeah, there is one more error. Let me see. If I find this fast, it's okay. If not, I will still quit and to make this offline perhaps. So here is on use item 2. The problem is when I click with my first person character, I must call this one. Let's go to our first person character fast. Let's skip all the other things which we don't need. So this one is set up, I think. I hope. Collectible item, I keep that. Keep this one. PC, this one I need. And what is that? Collectible item for first person. Yes. And here, BC collectible item. This I don't need. Then we have this one. Let's see. And let's see if I can set this up fast. If not, then not. We go here to first person. Where are you, my friend? Here. I open up my first person. Okay, this was not compiled. That was also one reason why it was not activated. So this one has to be compiled. Okay. Now it can also work because that was a big reason. All time when it's an error, something like that. Yes, let's test this one fast. Perhaps it works, perhaps not. Still not working. Okay. And now we check this. Where is this first person character? Here. And the problem is now I need. Oops. That's not right. My player controller here on use item 2. Input action primary action on call on use item 2 here. And I need this one here called on my where is this? The all time is searching things, baby collectible item for first person, this one here, and I have not it here, so I need this one, first person character. Let's copy this one here, or as first person character, I get this reference here, and then I bind event to on use item, but that's not true. I need this on use item, not this one. First person character. Let's kick this one out. Yeah, I need the player controller. Oh crap. Do I need now? Yes, I need. I don't have this one here. In my last video, I showed you that you have just to create a reference to the player controller, and then you can call this. Let's make this also fast. Oh my god, why I don't have this here? I thought I migrated this one. Perhaps I migrated the wrong one. That's why. So I have to make it manually, or just you can migrate it if you want. Let's make it event. It's not too long. It's some seconds. Let's make get all actors of class. Let's get here BP. I need this my player controller. No, PC. I need PC. Then let's see. Not PC, PC. And I thought here. Then my player controller. I get a copy. Then I promote this to variable, and I call this a ref, because it is a reference to this player controller. Player controller, ref underscore player controller, my created whatever player controller. Perfect. Let's compile this so far. It is done. Now here I get this my player controller, and now I bind on what do I have to bind? I have to bind on this one, on use item 2. Okay, on use item 2, bind event on use or assign, yes, bind event here, and here we can call this one here, and here we create this item because I want the same like here. Let's make here create event, and I called this event here, which we have made last. All the step what I did here fast, we already did in the last videos, couple videos anywhere there. So that should be clear what I'm doing here. The only problem was I migrated the wrong file. That's why I have not this setup here probably. And I hope this time it works. If not, that's too long. So, and you see it works. So I bring this first person character here, and probably you can set up here even more. For example, you can set up here in first person character. Let me show you this one as well, but I'm not setting this up. Show you something. Here, the character here, the mesh, you can change your mesh, the animations, so that the weapon works also for the RPG character, and then change here many things. Here, of course, for the first person character, set a full mesh, not just the arms perhaps. So anyhow, this one from Lyra starter pack, you can probably migrate it here. There are other, because Lyra is also a first person, not a first person, it's a third person shooter game, but this animation, this hand animations they got, I think, then you can use them. It's a very interesting example. It's not so difficult, but I think on the launcher there is I read this today, there is a site where they show how to migrate Lyra animations to your project, and go there and check this out, which means you can create then a full Lyra character imported here, and that's a little bit better in your own project, and then you repeat again migration, how to migrate, and all this kind of stuff. Probably I will link this in the description, but here I stop because this video is very long, and I hope you see how you can migrate and what you have to change a little bit. Some works out of the box perfect, some not. But the important thing here to note is This migrations is powerful. You can migrate from all projects now. You can go to all other places, create there something and said, okay, I created there, but I want to use it in my project. Migrate it, change it, use it. And that's a powerful thing to know for a starter, because you don't want to create all from scratch. This is not even very good good programmers or good game developer creating all things from scratch. They've created perhaps one time in their life from scratch, but then they are reusing it, extend it, delete perhaps some parts and extend it and change it, but that's it. And that's why we need this knowledge, how to migrate or even export, import, something like that. So with that said, I stop here. If you have any question or complaints, like all time, write it in the comments, and I will link this Lyra site with the migration of animations in the description, so you can see how to migrate this Lyra animations, which is also very nice explained there, I think. I have not read it through, but you can write it if it's worked, or if it's not worked, then I can make also a video for that one. So with that said, good luck and bye.